President Trump has made no secret that he intends to shake up U.S. foreign policy. We may, of course, hear more about that tonight. Correspondent Rich Edson reports. For more clues as to what the president may do, just follow the money.
Translating campaign rhetoric into spreadsheets, the Trump administration is proposing what it calls an America First budget. That means substantial cuts to foreign aid. And now Democrats, Republicans, and former military officers are fighting to preserve that spending.
Most of us who wore the uniform understand there's probably a need to enhance the defense budget. Got it. But what we're concerned about is to take this tiny sliver of the federal budget and put a hacksaw to that. At 30% cut just is both disproportionate and frankly extremely dangerous.
In a letter to congressional leaders and Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, retired Lieutenant General Daniel Chrisman and 120 other retired 3- and 4-star generals and flag officers write that development agencies, quote, are critical to preventing conflict and reducing the need to put our men and women in uniform in harm's way. The military will lead the fight against terrorism and on the battlefield, but it needs strong civilian partners in the battle against the drivers of extremism, lack of opportunity, insecurity, injustice, and hopelessness. The White House is proposing spending much less on the State Department and foreign aid, about a third according to various reports. The U.S. Agency for International Development says the government spent $40 billion in foreign aid in 2015, about 1% of all federal spending. That includes money to secure U.S. embassies, feed refugees, fight terrorism, promote democracy, and build infrastructure in developing countries.
We will be spending less overseas and spending more back home.
Despite the administration's intent, when asked whether the Senate would approve a budget that slashes State Department funding by a third, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said,
probably not.
This morning, ahead of his meeting at the State Department, reporters asked Secretary Tillerson if he agreed with the administration's plan to cut department funding. He ignored the question. A department spokesman adds, quote, the department is working with the White House and OMB to review its budget priorities. The department remains committed to a U.S. foreign policy that advances the security and prosperity of the American people. The president's budget is only a proposal. Congress controls the spending. Negotiations between the White House, Congress, Democrats, and Republicans will ultimately decide how much the U.S. spends on foreign aid. Brett?
Rich, thank you.